This weekend I'm working on several hide projects and finally getting around to work on some of the beaver and otter hides that I have. And I wanted to share with you a little bit about the process. This is a process you can do to rehydrate hides that have either been fleshed and salted like this otter or the beaver, or just fleshed and dried like this otter hide has. It takes a while to reconstitute those, and I find that what helps is using some of the taxidermy solvents. This is True Bond Liposol 55. This seemed to work really well. There are others on the market that would probably also work well. This one you can find at most of the taxidermy supply houses. I believe Matushka is where I got this out of Iowa, but I'm pretty sure Mackenzie or Van Dyke's also has either this or something like it. A little bit of this in the warm water, and again, follow the directions on the label. It's pretty simple. It says not to get it too hot. As with any hide work, you don't want it too hot. It'll also, burn the hide the same as hot water will burn our own skin. But mix it up with the warm water. Helps to reconstitute those hides, bring them back to life. They're nice, soft, and supple again to work with. And you can use this to rehydrate hides, whether they are going to be brain tanned or you're just going to use another tanning agent like the taxidermy tans. These work great. What we're going to start off with is putting in a couple beaver hides and the otter hides. The beaver I've had hanging in the fur shed for a couple years. I finally get around to tanning these. I like to salt the hides. If I know I'm not going to tan it right away, not going to have a chance to do it immediately, either tan it or freeze it. I salt it or freeze it. I like to salt them because they rehydrate better than this. These flint dried hides, especially if they've been dried for a year or two, really don't soak up the water well. Harder to rehydrate. The salted hides rehydrate incredibly well. But that's also why the Liposol helps quite a bit. Let's go ahead and get this first one down in here. Like that. And I'm going to add a little bit more of the solvent, Liposol agent. Given the number of hides I have in here. After I pull this out, these have had a chance to hydrate a good bit. Again, I'm going to pull these out, take them out to the fur shed, and I'll run my fleshing knife over them again. You don't have to worry about fleshing them, but I'll just put them on the fleshing beam, use the dull side of my fleshing knife, run over them quickly just to stretch open those fibers really well. Then, when I come back in, I'll actually put them in this washing oil. This is an oil that is water soluble. Put that in the bucket, let them soak in that for 15 to 30 minutes. Then I'll wring them out, just kind of squeegee the water out of them a little bit. Put them either onto, in the case of the otter hide, I'll put them back onto the stretching board and let it freeze overnight. Or in the case of the beaver, I'm going to tack those out onto a thin piece of plywood. Let those freeze overnight so I can freeze scrape them the next morning. We've been getting some pretty good cold temperatures lately, usually about 0 degrees or less, especially at night. Sometimes as low as 30 degrees below zero. So they'll freeze really well. Again, the great thing about freeze scraping these, why I like to do some of these in the winter, is as the water freezes, the water expands in the fibers of the hide, stretches those fibers out. You can get a good scrape on those, which, check out my other videos. You'll see what I'm doing with that on an otter hide as well as bison hide I've been working with. And I'll try to come back as well and show you freeze scraping on the beaver hides later. But as I'm getting this stuff in the water now, I'll use this and a weight to help submerge these and make sure they stay underwater for a while and hold it down, get good and wet. But that's all it takes. It might take a while for them to rehydrate. It could take 4 or 5 hours. You may have to let them sit overnight. Hopefully these will be rehydrated, that I'll be able to get them set out overnight tonight to freeze, and tomorrow we'll do some more freeze scraping. Hope this helps with your work. Thanks for watching.